Hey folks, welcome to week 6. This is a really cool week. We're focusing on audience and challenges to effective communication. This is setting us up for week 7 next week, where we're going to write to a very, very specific audience, the Seattle Design Festival. And they have a proposal every year. They have a big sort of festival in South Lake Union, and they open it up to the community to design sort of festival activities. Right? I went a few years ago. I didn't know what I was at, and I was like, "Wait a minute! I think I was at the Seattle Design Festival." So it's a really cool festival. It happens in August, and so think of this week as setting us up for next week's proposal writing for that festival. So put a pin in that for 1 second. So, in order to get there, I also want to talk about challenges to effective communication. So, you have two activities this week. The first is challenges to effective communication, where you compare two websites. And the second is an audience analysis of the Seattle Design Festival. So, I think of these as similar and working together. Okay? So, each are worth 5 points. So, let's take a look at the first technical challenge this week. Um, so this is all about audience, and writing to specific audiences. Okay, so in this technical challenge, I ask you to compare and describe the similarities and differences between two different websites with two different audiences. So, for example, you have Toyota America, right? So, same company making the website for an American audience, right? And I'm like, okay, what do I notice? What do I see? You know, Automatically, it's a car in the forest, right? It's a car driving down, the 101. Um, and then I go to Toyota Europe, okay? And on their homepage, it's very different. You get the statement of happiness for all, um, developing and manufacturing the broadest range of innovative, safe, sustainable, and accessible mobility solutions. When you are free, anything is possible. Um, and it really goes into the sustainability, right? They have an entire sublink on sustainability. And I'm like, okay, I go back to the Toyota America site and I don't see the sustainability link. So, folks, do you see how that's a major difference? So, Toyota is looking at, US buyers, German, Spanish, European buyers, and same car, right? Same company, completely different messages to different audiences, but same product. So that's essentially your task this week is to look at and compare, right, or analyze how a company, right, can change its message, right? It's the same purpose, right? But it changes the way it talks to different audiences, right? This is all about um, audience awareness. So our assignment gets into cultural sensitivity in the workplace. This is really crucial for technical writing. Um, and this idea of assessing audience and purpose and situation. So again, you're assessing two websites and you're describing their differences, right? And look at if you want to use the Toyota websites, that's fine. I give that to you in the assignment, but you can also find your own, right? Um, but I just want to read a Strata 2014, right? This research says cultural sensitivity in the workplace. Culture is a major factor in clear communication. As technical writers, we often conduct a piece of communication for a given reader or specific audience, but how often do you think about the primary reader's culture, right? Would you change the communication if your audience has a different cultural threshold, right? So I want you to think about how culture um, affects communication. And I particularly love this idea of cultural humility. And the way this has been explained to me is it's going beyond um, cultural sensitivity into really centering on how your beliefs, right? How your views, right? Where you're coming from affects how you understand other cultures, right? So do you see how it's really asking you to do a self-evaluative work, right? I like this quote. Um, Cultural humility is a personal, lifelong commitment to self evaluation and self critique, where individuals not only learn about another's culture, but one starts with an examination of their own beliefs and cultural identities, right? So, cultural humility is this, and this is a recent development, saying that in order to understand culture, you have to start with you and how your culture, your identity, your ideas, your beliefs is influencing how you see other people. Right? That's my understanding of it. This is how it's been. I've I've been trained on this. So I love this idea of cultural humility, right? And coming from this place of self critique and self understanding. And it's about institutional accountability and fixing power imbalances. Okay? So you can bring all of this to bear when you look at these different, right? Toyota, same company, two different audiences. And look at how they just, one is more text, right? And one is just, flashy images of cars like tearing up the landscape. So I find this fascinating, right? So I might start from a place of cultural humility and be like, you know, where am I coming from, right? And when in my understanding of Toyota as a company and how it's hitting different two different markets or two different cultures, right? European culture, American culture. What are my thoughts and values, and how does that affect how I'm even looking at this, right? So I really encourage you to come from a place of cultural humility with this when you sort of compare these two different websites, right? Same company, two different audiences, very different like phrasing and messages. So take a look, right? I give you a lot of questions to help you compare. Obviously, you don't have to go through all of these questions, but look at a few of them, right? Who's the intended audience? What do you know about the writing style? Um, how do things change for the different respective audiences? Um, right? What differences do you see in the layout or format when aiming for these two different audiences by Toyota? So that is really going to get us started thinking about audience. Now, your second task is after you do that one, then I want you to get into, we're really starting to break down the Seattle Design Festival. This is your audience for the next project, technical challenge, which is a proposal. We'll learn how to write a proposal. Okay? So, who is the Seattle Design Festival? What are their needs, their expectations? How do we meet their needs and expect, right? This is a real audience, right? They are here in Seattle. So, I give you a lot of links, right? I expect you to look these people up and understand their beliefs, their culture, right? What do they value? Okay? Um, we'll get into a little bit on proposal. This is from our textbook. Um, right? Proposals are documents designed to persuade someone to follow or accept an idea or a specific course of action. Proposals usually they usually solve a problem, right? Or they provide a service or a product. Our proposals are going to persuade the Seattle Design Festival to accept your idea for a festival activity or talk or Skillshare or demo, right? They have all these things that they accept, right? So that's what we're proposing, is this an idea for something to happen at their festival, right? So this one is much more, right, engaging imagination and creativity, right? When we get to next week's proposal. Um, so take a look at, again, the Seattle Design Festival, read about their call for proposal, right? They tell you exactly who they are, what they're looking for, what their values are, what their culture is, right? They're all about design, right? This is a design culture. And in the assignment, I talk about what design means. It's an interaction. It's just getting people involved. It's solutions to a problem, Okay? So take a look at this audience, right? The Seattle Design Festival. And that is essentially your audience analysis is who are they, right? What do they need? What are they most likely to care about? What are they least likely to care about? Does that make sense? Um, and what questions do you have about the Seattle Design Festival or their call for proposal? Okay. And again, this is setting us up for we're going to write the proposal next week. Um, and they're asking for about one maybe 2 pages for their proposals. We'll look at examples next week. Um, so that's our stuff this week, the Seattle Design Festival, right? What is a proposal? Um, and again, persuasiveness for this proposal is can you propose something new or something interesting or something they haven't seen before that meets their needs, right? For a design solution or a solution to a problem in Seattle. Um, so take a look at your two um, technical challenges this week. I hope you enjoy, have fun with these. Email me if you have any questions. Thanks, folks.